So the next lesson is a very simple SSO profile that we're going to create called Email Someone Else. This is one of the big value propositions for using SSO with Drive Print, because when we go to send an email to an outside recipient, it's going to actually show up in that user's sent items. They'll be able to query their personal Exchange contacts, and it'll also come from them. So it's more professional for the users, makes it easier for them, and it's something that a lot of customers are looking for. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is set up a data source to Microsoft Exchange. You can use both Exchange 365 or a hybrid environment where the mailboxes are located locally, but or maybe it's the other way around, the mailboxes are in 365 and you have local Exchange server, or you can use a full 365 account here. So this case right here, the hybrid would be where the user has a local domain login, but their login to 365 is their email address. So that'll know how to handle that. So in this case, I'm going to add a user that I have for 365. And now I'm going to add the password. And what this is going to do is it's going to go up to the Microsoft domain and check to make sure that this domain right here exists as a valid 365 domain. This service account does not have to be a domain admin or anything. It just needs to exist and have a mailbox so that we can verify that this domain exists. So any user that logs in from here on out, they'll be able to do a pass-through and log into 365 as themselves. So there we go, it's successful. So now any user of that domain can log in here and go straight to 365. So I'm going to create a new profile called Email Someone Else. This one's going to be a little more complicated. We're going to give the user a couple different options. One is going to be search my contacts. And what we're going to use is the personal Exchange contacts field. This is going to be set up as an email address, and the usage will make it so that whatever they select here will automatically be used as the recipient, so you don't need to map that in the output. We're also going to set this email select field, which is going to format it a little differently. It's not necessary that you do this, but it gives you a couple different options. In this case, we're not going to give them the BCC and CC options. So you see when we're searching my contacts, obviously there's no authentication options because this must happen as that user. We have to have that user's password in order to search their personal contacts. I'm going to add another option here, which is search the global address book. This is going to be an LDAP search, and once I do email address and select field, it's going to bring that into the existing search. So here it's already going to map with that LDAP search that I already did, or that data source rather. And if I save it, just to save my work, it's going to make it very easy for the user to select either their global address book, their personal contacts, or to enter a new email. In the processing here, I'm not going to give them any options, but you could easily give them a couple different conversion options there. You could also enter some input fields, again with the subject and with the attachment and the body of the email. Here in the output, we're going to go back to email, we're going to enable email, and here instead of using SMTP, I'm going to use that Exchange server that we created. So here with the authentication, we're going to use the logged on user's credentials, that way it'll show up in their sent items and everything. And then here we could do the same thing, new email from, and actually I'm going to put that user's name in there so that the recipient knows who it's come from. Now if you wanted to put a user-defined field there for either the attachment here or for the subject, obviously you would just create a new input field and then map that variable into those two sections. Let's do the date and the time. So it's pretty straightforward. Now what the user is going to do is be able to search their own personal contacts as well as the LDAP contacts, or enter a manual address. It's also going to come from them, show up in their sent items, and be sent directly to the recipient that they choose. So here you see we've logged in. This could be done with single sign-on or with a manual login. I have this profile here for email someone else. And you see I have a couple different options. I can add a new recipient, I can search my contacts, I can search the gal, or I can also email myself real quick. So if I hit new, I'm going to search the global address book. And let's just do a basic search there. Say, well, I don't know who's in here, but so let's just do a full search. This is going to search our local LDAP. Here there's not a lot of users, but this would come back with everybody in Active Directory. And you could pick who you want to send that email to. So now it's going to send that message to all three of those people. Like I said, you can manipulate that, you can add new ones, you can cancel them, and everything's going to happen as that user. So it's a very nice function. It's good to talk up, and it's a real big value proposition for the Drive image, Drive print, SSO combination.